Hi, this is Halas Shubhodip. I am second year MD student. Today I am going to show how to measure the blood pressure with aneroid sphygmomanometer. For measuring the blood pressure, we need two equipment. One is the sphygmomanometer with the meter on this and the inflatable rotator cuff, and another is the stethoscope to listen to the sound, that is Korkop sound we used to hear for measuring the blood pressure. Now we'll discuss for the correct size or the measurement for the rotator cuff. So this is the width and this is the length. So for the width, when you place the width in the upper arm, make sure that is that covers the 40% of the upper arm circumference. Later we'll see about the length so that it covers almost 80%, that is totally wrap up the upper circumference or upper arm circumference. Then this is the sphygmomanometer. You see here, we'll check the reading from here. So the importance of having the perfect size rotator cuff while we measure the blood pressure. So check this, as I said before, that the perfect size, if the rotator cuff becomes larger than the upper arm circumference, the reading will be lower than the accurate measurement, and if it becomes smaller than the upper arm circumference of the patient, it will be having a larger reading, that will be no error. And we are also having this pump, that is there is a knob also there. This is for reminding this, for memorizing righty tighty and lefty loosey. Like it means if right side it is tight and left now it is. This is the second equipment, stethoscope, that we will use this to listen the brachial artery pulsations while taking the blood pressure measurement. And for this, make sure it is inward, and there is a diaphragm which will place on the brachial pulse location, and will hear the Korokop sound to get the perfect measurement of the blood pressure. Now I will discuss about the procedure for blood measurement. So first, the criteria is about to choosing the arm. You can choose both, any like right arm or the left arm. So usually we prefer the right arm, and before choosing the arm, make sure this is devoid of any scar regarding the brachial artery injury or the any lymphedema, because it will cause an error. So when you choose the arm, you can see here there is an arrow at the left arm and the right arm. So as we have chosen the right arm, make sure the arrow is right at the position of the brachial artery, where you get the pulsation of the brachial artery. Okay, so next you take the make this, you can make this here. So when you take the blood pressure measurement, you look directly into this and make sure the position, it will be the mid chest position of your heart. Don't if the position becomes lower than the heart level, the reading will be higher, or if it becomes higher than the heart level, the readings will be lower. So make sure it is the perfect level. So when a patient comes to you for having the blood pressure measurement, let the patient wait for 5 minutes in a rest position and uncrossed leg, and sit in a perfect position, and having the brachial artery position at the mid chest or the heart level, so you will get the perfect measurement. And also ask the patient if they have any caffeinated drink, or they have smoked, or having any exercise. So if they say about they are having any exercise or having any caffeinated drinks or any beverages, so wait for 30 minutes, because it will affect your measurement. Now we will estimate the systolic blood pressure. So first, like to determine how high we have to raise the pressure of the cuff for by inflating the bulb. So now you have first we have to measure the radial pulse here. Make sure the patient has a radial pulse. Then you take the radial from the lateral side and place your fingers here and start inflating the cup until you no longer feel the radial pulse. That will be your approximate systolic blood pressure. Later, you add additional 20 to 30 millimeter of Hg for getting the accurate blood pressure measurement through using the stethoscope. So now, and suppose you get the pressure where the radial pulse is no longer felt, like it is 120 milliliter of Hg, then you add additional 30 milliliter of Hg, that it will be 150. So your target pressure will be for inflating the cup pressure will be 150 millimeter of Hg. So usually it is 180 or 200 around. So you can raise up. So we do this for not making any discomfort to the patient, and also we try to avoid the oscillatory gap for the error. Understanding the systolic and diastolic blood pressure. So when you inflate the rotator cuff pressure up to 150 or 180, that is your target pressure, like we consume that is 180, though raise the pressure up to 180, then you start loosening by turn left valve. So it should be the rate at the rate of 2 millimeter of Hg. For then at around 120, this is the normal systolic blood pressure. Around 120, you will get the first thumping sound. There will be two consecutive thumping sounds. So that is your systolic blood pressure, and you start losing the air pressure at the 2 millimeter of Hg. Then around 80 or something, like you will get it will be lower. The thumping sound will be lower, and when the muffling sound appears, and slowly it will disappear. Then at the take note that is when the sound disappears, that will be your diastolic blood pressure. So now I will demonstrate how to take the blood pressure measurement. First I describe the measurement techniques and the equipments. So now I will show with my friend Khushi through the blood pressure. First I will ask some question for accuracy. So did you take any caffeinated drinks or having any exercise before coming here?
No,
Any alcohols and all?
nothing.
Okay. So then, of which arm would you prefer for taking the blood pressure?
The right arm is okay.
Okay, thank you. So as she preferred the right arm, so I'll can I have? Okay. Just check, is there any blood clotting disease or
No,
any
nothing.
emission before?
Nothing like
No
that.
problem at all. Okay. So I'll check the approximate systolic pressure. So that for that I will palpate through the radial pulse. So make sure it is free of clothing. So first I'll check through the radial pulse. I will inflate the cuff until I no longer feel any kind of radial pulsation. So I'll start inflating. Let's go. Do it slowly at 10 millimeter of Hg pressure, and do it until you no longer feel any radial pulsation. Here at 120 millimeter of Hg, I didn't feel any radial pulse, so I'll add another 30 minutes of Hg for measuring the accurate blood pressure. So I'll wait another 5 minutes. So do the next procedure. So after 5 minutes, now I will check the brachial pulsation for the accurate blood pressure measurement, and I will use the stethoscope. So first locate the brachial pulsation. Here I got the brachial pulse, and make sure the lower border of the curve is 2 to 2.5 centimeter upper, and here is the right arm location. So now I will check the pulsations, and make sure you check the sound here by twisting it. Now it is on, and place it here so that you can listen to the cortical sound. Now inflate the pressure. As I have determined previously, I have to inflate up to 150 to 160, and while you inflate the bulb, make sure it is tight. So now I'm going. Let's go. Do it slowly at 10 minutes veggie up to 150 or 160 as I determined. Now I will slowly use it at 2 minutes veggie. Around 1:30 I got the first thumping sound, that will be the systolic blood pressure. Still I am continuing it. Around 86 I no longer hear any sound or any pulsations. So you can rapidly deflate it now. So here I got the systolic blood pressure and the diastolic blood pressure. So I got the systolic pressure here around 130, and the reading where I no longer hear any sound, that is around 90. So the systolic blood pressure is 130 and the diastolic blood pressure is 90. Deflate it. Make sure the patient is relaxed. And now you can tell the pressure. Your pressure is 120 by 90.
Thank you.
Thank you.